Good evening and welcome everyone who has joined in today's webinar. I hope that today's webinar actually gives you a insightful thought on exactly what you have in mind and also gives you a better understanding of which is the main agenda or the focus of this webinar is how today artificial intelligence has come up as one of the most important section when we talk about telephony, and how this, when integrated with the telephony system, can increase the outcome of any organization by at least four folds and five folds. So, this is the agenda of the webinar today, and this is what we plan to achieve. So, before I go ahead and before we start the webinar, there is a few details that we would like to take you through, and we would like you to know before we proceed. Okay. As I was discussing that today, the whole logic of this webinar is to understand of how the cloud telephony meets with conversational AI, and how these two, when put together, actually brings out the best in any organization. Now, we do all agree to this fact that every customer who calls into our organization can either have a opportunity that we have an opportunity to either delight the customer, or it's a chance that was lost. Now, as what we see today, the future of call conversation is moving towards the conversational AI platform. Yet there are organizations who face extraordinary pressure to cater to customers in an immediate basis, or to cater to customers in 24 bar 7 scenarios. Now the conversational AI has become such a part of this ecosystem that it can actually give you a immediate response, as well as a agent who is available 24 bar 7, or what you call it 24 by 7, 365 days a year. And a conversational AI is one of the best trained agents that you can have in your organization. Now, moving forward, as we are all discussing voice bots and conversational AI, one of the most important thing that comes into picture is cloud telephony. Now, MCube as a product is what is offers cloud telephony. Now, MCube, we are based out of Bangalore, headquartered in Bangalore, but we have offices over India in about six or seven places. The major one being Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Now, we have started this organization about 15 years back. We took our time to learn, make mistakes, make sure that whatever we deliver as of today is up to the best qualities in the market. And over the period, we have learned a lot of things. From 2010, we have tried to enhance it into a better product, enhance it into a better experience for our customers. Now, just to give you an overview of what are the services we offer, starting from AI to the point where it's connect to an agent, may it be calling services, may it be toll-free numbers, may you talk about WhatsApp, SMS, Truecaller, extensions, anything and everything that has to do with the communication model is offered by MQ. Now, this was a little brief of what our organization does. Now, let's move on to the man of the event, the guest of honor, Mr. Vikas Gupta. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Gupta, who is, as of today, the Chief Technology Officer at MCUBE VMC, and he is an alumni of IIT BHU with an MBA from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Vikas brings nearly about 3 decades of experience leading digital transformation across the globe. His career journey spans industry leaders such as Infosys, CSC, NetApp, and more, where he has consistently helped organizations harness technology to achieve meaningful business outcomes. From his early days at Infosys, his current role at VMC, he has witnessed a first hand how the technology evolves, what all is required to evolve the technology, and what should be the focus. He has also a great experience when we talk about international or when we talk about international exposure, he has worked in US, Europe, South Asia, and has consistent anchored around customer centric innovation to define or to give customer the correct experience that is to be delivered by any first hand or a top notch organization. Now, as often he says, technologies may come and go, but the true foundation of transformation is what endures the whole product. Now, this is why he has been one of the main part, or he is today one of the integral part of VMC Technologies or MCUBE. And this is where he brings in expertise to make sure or to give us an idea of how we can include or introduce AI into our day to day lives, not just in telephony or not just in our business. So, over to you, Vikas. I guess the mic is yours, and please take it forward.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much. And maybe I'll just share my screen and then let's see. Uh, we'll proceed further. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so thank you so much, Uttarayan, for the wonderful introduction. And I believe the introduction isn't just about me, the story. It is the story of how businesses win with technology. Coming straight away to the topic that we have at hand, as to how is the voice telephony and cloud telephony is interacting with the and how it's working with the artificial intelligence at this point of time. Why it's getting so important now? It's said that when customers' expectations rise, standing still is like moving backwards. So when things are moving so fast and customers are expecting more and more, if you don't catch up, if we don't catch up to that, then somebody else will. And if others catch, we automatically are behind. So because of non-action, we would be actually lagging behind, just not because of our non-action, but because others are moving so fast. In this kind of a scenario, what is the urgency? What is causing the customer expectations to rise at this point of time? So if we see the cloud telephony, voice interaction, call center services in all these areas, at this point of time, if you see, there has been a rapid AI adoption across the industries. When we have calling is an important tool using which companies, organizations interact with the customers, interact with the users, and when you talk to other person at the other end of the line, the voice remains the same. But I think it's important to realize that the person behind the voice, his world or his or her world is completely changing at this point of time. The person who actually has who's needing some kind of information from the organization, who is wanting to have an interaction today with the advent of AI, with the availability of various chatting tools, various AI tools, at this point of time is drowned in lot of information, beautiful curated information that is quite appropriate to him. And when that person connects with an organization through a phone, and if that person is starved of the important information that he is looking for, let's say you make a call, and if that person is not able to get the right information in calls for hours and hours, or if the call is not addressed, the experience of the customer nosedives immediately. And when that kind of a situation happens, uh, like even our regular standard of services are actually considered as quite substandard, because customers expectations are rising. They expect instantaneous availability of information, and because of that, it's imperative for all the organizations who serve the customers to have this information available, and to the relevant information available to the customer at their tips. Secondly, at this point of time, the remote working is becoming more and more prominent. Remote working is considered almost like a right by a lot of people at this point of time. When you make a call, when you are working from home, when you are working remotely, at that point of time, let's say if there's an escalation, automatically your boss will say, why didn't you call me? So call is an important part of all the interactions, and if this call is not delivering the right results, it reduces, or it actually it actually makes the service quite substandard. Customer expectations are also increasing. Customers thinks want the services to be available 24 bar 7. Now these kind of, if customer expectations are increasing, those things actually pose a very, very pertinent questions for the people who are the designers of these services, CXOs and all those people. What happens is, when if they try to deliver this level of service, the cost of those services are very, very high. Those services cost increases. But in case uh, in case they want to maintain the costs, then in that case the quality of the services suffer. This kind of a dilemma is a big challenge for all the CXOs of the world at this point of time. Now, to address this kind of a dilemma, uh, people are struggling, and when they are struggling, they would find that the competition is already offering various kinds of services which are actually at a lower cost and are delivering right kind of information, right kind of uh, knowledge to the customer or the end user. And because of this competitive pressures, this differentiation is shrinking day by day. So at this point of time, how to solve this puzzle? Our conversational AI is a solution which tags on with the cloud telephony, and that helps us in resolving both the cost pressure as well as the quality of service that is delivered to the customer. So that's why I think it's said that in today's boardroom, if you delay AI in cloud telephony, it isn't a caution for us. It is a competitive suicide. So actually, it's important for all the organizations willing to deliver good quality of services to adopt to this as fast as possible. So uh, it's important that we seize this inflection point, leverage the conversational AI, and deliver the right quality of services to the customer at a price which is not exorbitant or which is not overboard for all of us. So as we proceed, maybe we'll just take the pulse of all the participants, and we'll see what are the main pain points that are being felt and observed by by the people. So Biplab, do you want to maybe share a poll on what are the pain points that are being felt by the organizations?
Yes, just give me a few seconds.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just sharing the result now.
Sure. So as we see, one of the biggest issues that is faced by the organizations is slow response time to leads. The leads land in your premises, at your location, in your organization, but if you don't respond it on time, there's somebody else who will grab the lead and you will lose the business. High agent workload is an important one. Poor visibility into customer conversations. That's an interesting one. uh, when you talk to customer, it's very difficult to find out how your customer conversations are going, how your agents are performing, how the customer conversations are going on. And as we proceed further, let's see how does the uh, available features that we have for AI conversations help you in achieving or addressing these issues. So as we proceed into, or as we get into the details of it, Let's first understand briefly what is actually cloud telephony. Okay. Cloud telephony, you can think of it as communication on steroids. It's smarter communication, faster communication, and communication that is available everywhere. So the cloud telephony enables smarter and faster communication. It is communication that is scalable, intelligent, and sometimes pay as you go. So it's foundation for agility in the enterprises. CXOs can scale up the operations without scaling the costs. So these are all the lot of features that are there in cloud telephony. I won't get into too much of depth. Most of you would have experienced, or most of us have experienced the cloud telephony, but just to give a brief context of it, the cloud telephony actually should grow as fast as your ambitions. That's the purpose of cloud telephony. And this promise has been kept by the cloud telephony at this point of time. It says it actually it lives up to its expectation to ditch the hardware but embrace the cloud, scale without limits. That is the main premise or main USP of cloud telephony. So cloud telephony is an edge above the traditional telephony. In the traditional telephony, people were using earlier using PBXs, and it was all wired kind of a communication system. And adding more lines would require adding more hardware. Very limited add-ons. Scaling up used to be very difficult. But now today's cloud telephony has overcome this issue, and it allows us to actually scale the organizations or scale up the communication to a great extent. At this point of time, this cloud telephony is maturing. It is an adult technology. It has been in vogue for a while at this point of time. So what does the cloud telephony as such allows us? It allows us that it allows us that the legacy wires, they don't hold our future back at this point of time. They allow you to scale as much as you want. But that's the thing that we have at this point of time. As we are proceeding further, the systems are not just limited to the AI, are not limited to the cloud telephony. AI is the new buzzword. AI is the new thing which is addressing lot of the problems that have been experienced by the users at this point of time, poor visibility into conversation, response to lead time, and all those things. So let's briefly understand what is exactly conversational AI. So conversational AI basically is having a bot or an artificial intelligence system that talks to your customers, to your users, to the relevant people as if it is a human. So, so these systems, whatever we have, they are designed to understand, process, and respond to human languages in human language in real time. They are powered by technologies, there is a plethora of technologies that delivers these. Prominent amongst them are NLP, natural language program, machine learning, speech recognition, and then there are daily, because of the AI innovations, there are various speech to text, ASR technologies, and multiple technologies are coming into picture. And but these are the technologies are only the supporting thing. What does it deliver? It delivers the main benefit of this conversational AI is that it delivers context aware, natural and adaptive interactions. What it means is context aware. The communication that happens using the conversational AI doesn't forget the customer past. Actually, it is aware of the context. It is aware of the surroundings. And let's say if you want to create a voice bot from sales perspective, then it will be aware of the sales context and it will try to sell. if you say, do the voice bot or conversational AI from a help desk perspective, it will have the context of the help desk. It will have the ingested knowledge base, and based on which it will be talking about it will be resolving customer issues. So it is a context aware, natural and adaptive interactions are made possible due to this. And let's look at the loop that we have in case of conversational AI. The conversational AI, once the call gets in, it listens. Then the listened message is understood by the bot. Based on the understanding, then it responds back. And the response back, when it is done by the system, it saves the valuable human time, human effort, and the labor costs, because machine will be doing the same operation, which would have been a mechanical task for a person. So once this loop is done, not only that it responds, but simultaneously, like a human, it keeps on learning as to what are the various tastes, what are the various intentions, what are the various liking, disliking of various customers, and based on that, it can grow and develop its learning also. So this is the conversational AI, and the AI of today doesn't just listens; it learns, adapts, and speaks your customer's language. So it's not just the automation in an automation sense. It is an intelligence that is with empathy for your customer. And this kind of a system allows your AI to handle the routine tasks so that your people can handle what matters to the organization. So let's see, as we talking about the conversational AI, how does cloud telephony plus AI actually changes the game that we have? So cloud telephony, as we saw, is a mature technology that allows us to scale up the voicing, the telephony systems, the calling capability of an organization. So that's the benefit of the cloud telephony. The telephony is maturing, it's getting adult, and now this adult technology is getting another partner. It's getting married to another technology known as AI. And that AI scales up the intelligence and automation that we have along with the calling features. So telephony alone improves the communication, AI alone improves your automation. And together, when they work together, they actually convert your cost center, a contact center, which is a cost center, to a growth engine for the organization. Let's briefly look into the structure of this particular cloud telephony system that we have, cloud telephony plus AI. Let's say when the lead comes, at that point of time, this lead is passed through the telephony system, and the AI system would look at it, and AI does the qualification of the lead. So when the conversational AI or voice bot receives the call, this call is actually interpreted by the AI system, and this AI system qualifies whether it's a good lead, bad lead, or it will give it a score. And based on the score, only the useful and the leads that have got a high qualification will be routed to your agent and will consume or take up valuable agent time. The other leads will not be taken up, and they would be actually responded back by the AI. So this actually saves a lot of effort and cost from the organization, and your agents, they are now free because they are getting less number of leads but more qualified. They can have an intelligent and useful and meaningful conversation with your customers to convert the leads, and they would not have more of a cleaning job or scraping job or just answering to unqualified lead that would be done by the AI qualification thing. Once the qualification is done, once the AI agent receives the lead, then the routing system, it goes to the AI routing, goes to the agent routing. Once the routing system gives the call to the agent, agent does the interaction. The interaction is recorded into the systems. And now today, at this point of time, traditionally what happens is when the calls are happening, you would have somebody in the call monitoring the call, reviewing the call, and based on that, they would be analyzing the call quality. But today, the AI systems can easily do post-call analytics, or during the call itself, they can do the analytics. They can do the analytics generation and find out the quality of responses, the quality of conversation that went, and feedback into the system. And that can be used, the feedback can be used for the agent interactions, can help the agent to improve the services. So let's say if a quality lead comes, and the lead, when it comes at that point of time, agent is trying to explore or explain the services, and the customer proposes various kind of objections. The various this analytics generation can actually have mechanisms. They can do some kind of a analysis. Typically they would do a BANT, a band analysis. That is, if the user has objection to either the to the authority, or the need, or the timing of this. Based on that, if the based on the type of the objection, the AI system can actually give the kind of responses, the kind of winning pitches or winning scripts that would be available to the AI system, can make those winning pitches available to the agent, and agent can use them for winning those leads. So those things are possible by automation, or during post-call analytics, it can be done. It can be used by the agent uh, for doing further learning or for their own training. So at this point of time, using this AI system changes the system from a cost center to actually a growth engine, and that's the real game changer. So when AI meets the telephony, calls stop becoming expenses and they start becoming investments for you. So that's why it is imperative for all the people who design businesses, who are responsible for the growth. They should be redefining the telephony as one of the fastest revenue accelerator. This this cloud telephony plus AI is one of the best new hires for your organization, that can scale a lot, that can grow a lot, and that can be that can give a personal kind of a touch to the communication with the customers. So let's see what are the possible use cases, in what kind of scenarios we can use this the conversational AI systems. So broadly, we can just there are way too many use cases. There are way too many ways in which this kind of a system can be used. We'll briefly go through some systems that will give you a brief overview, and that would allow you to just get a taste of the value or the type of use cases that we can have. So in a sales driven conversations, what we can do is maybe the AI conversation system can do an auto lead qualification. So when the leads come in, it can do some kind of qualifications, as we have seen. And then the representatives from the organization can focus only on the hot leads, and they don't need to waste, or they don't need to spend time on the leads that are not critical to the organization, or they are not, which have very high selling propensity, very low selling propensity. The other thing is that the system can do real-time lead scoring based on intent and conversation. So it can identify the intent of the conversation, and based on that, it can do the scoring of the lead. It can also do, once these conversations are done, it can also have a comprehensive way by which voice, data, SMS, WhatsApp, email, all can cohesively work, and the follow-up work can be done automatically using this AI agents for via call, SMS, WhatsApp, or email, whatever is the appropriate situation. Uh, and when the call is going on, at that point of time, the agent can also see the kind of interactions that customers had in the earlier. They will get the call history, and if they get the call history, they can do a context sensitive, and they can also have more intelligent conversations with the customers. So these kind of things, these kind of systems, when placed, do lot of bring in lot of benefits. One of the BFSI client could cut lead qualification time by 70% using these sales driven conversations using conversational AI. The other area where you can think of using this conversational AI is for customer support. So normally the customer support would be done during office hours, because we have human people, human support people who will have a limitation of the working in office time. But if the qualification or if the customer support can be done by the systems, then we can provide 24 by 7 first line query handling with an AI driven voice bot. So smart call routing, it's a feature by which the agent who has the context of the communication, who has the previous history, who has been previously interacting with the customer, can get the call again, and then that customer can again have, that agent can have the right interaction and give the right amount of right comfort level and right response to the users. It can also do sentiment detection, and it will also have the full interaction history. When these kind of systems have been used, organizations have reported that the call wait time for customers have reduced drastically with the same capacity or even with the little lower capacity that we have. A retail firm, when they use this system, they reported that the call wait time was reduced from 5 minutes to under 30 seconds. Last is area is where maybe operations. So all the operations related to automated order updates, voice enabled scheduling, booking appointments, real time analytics, detecting bottlenecks and optimizing resources, all these operations can be made quite frictionless and can be achieved, and can be streamlined using this conversational AI systems. So at this point of time, the use cases for the conversational AI systems are very, very prominent. And with the available use cases, innovating new cases, finding new cases is certainly possible. People can continue to find the new cases, and if the organizations just start small, scale fast, getting the ROI on these operations is just one use case away for you. Other system is maybe in collections and payments with AI. So maybe a specific use cases. If the AI system is used for doing the collection and payment follow-ups, the system can give personalized reminders. It can have negotiation bots. So negotiation bots can actually go and talk to the customers or the suppliers or the people for whom payments are pending. They can do the rescheduling of the payments. They can talk about partial payments, and they can also prioritize the conversations and follow-ups where there is good likelihood of getting the payment. So just prioritizing that itself will actually improve your cash flow to a great extent. So collection is often is quite costly and inefficient, but If you use this conversational AI, you can let AI chase the payments while you can chase your opportunities. The other use case possibly is that um, in a multilingual dialect support, if we see India, today India has 22 official languages and 1,000 plus dialects. And AI actually, when it is used, it enables inclusivity. Customers can interact in their own languages with the AI voice bot, and the amount of trust and loyalty and the confidence that is being generated by an interaction in native language is now supported by AI also. Earlier, like if there's a Marwadi and there's another person, a Marwadi comes and then he speaks in this Marwadi dialect and language, the the trust factor that is just built up because of that conversation and interaction is very very high, and getting the lead converted is really easy for those persons because of the trust and loyalty and the comfort that people with the same language, same culture would build in. Now, AI at this point of time, with 1,000 plus dialects available in India, if we can support or as the systems provide conversation in various dialects, the system can do the job of localization or building that of building that loyalty. So at this point of time, every dialect is a door to new markets, and AI will help you to open each and every door by using that dialect as and when it is built into the system. So it's win the trust where it matters the most at this point of time, and that also in your own customer's language. This is enabled by AI at this point of time. Now it's amply clear that organizations do need to use this conversational AI to increase their reach, increase their visibility, to improve the lead conversions. But when you start on this journey, the immediate challenge is how to get into it, because it's a new technology, complex technology, and getting expertise and experience is not there for everyone. But when you start on this journey, there would be three options. Either you build the AI system or the conversational AI in-house, or you buy it off the shelf, or you partner with another organization. When you try to build it in-house, you will have a lot of control, flexibility, but it is costly and time sensitive and time intensive. But if you buy it off the shelf, then it can be quick and affordable, but differentiation would be a bit of a challenge. Thirdly, let's say if you want to partner with someone, then you can get some kind of a tailored solution, but there would always be a dependency risk with you. So these are the kind of options the organizations should choose to one or follow one of the options, but one thing is important, they have to adopt early so that they can shape the future rather than chasing it later. So when the systems are adopted, or when the organizations proceed or start on the journey to have this conversational AI, there are few things which can prevent, which based on our current learnings, which we can say that should be avoided. As per the latest McKinsey report that was released last week, 18th August 2025, it stated 95% of the AI projects are actually shelved off, are not meeting the goal. The same number for general IT projects is about 65%, but AI is the amount of failure is very, very high. The risks are very high. And only only 5% of the projects are really achieving the objective. So what happens? Why are the issues? Why when you start working on these projects on your own, what are the kind of things that prevent you from succeeding? First and foremost, they say, as per the research, it's found that absence of clearly defined objectives. When you go for an AI adoption, not because of understanding, not because of the known business problem to be addressed, but just because of hearing from the various social media platforms or various friends, and just following the fad. If you want to do that, probably you may not have a very clear objective, and then the cloud telephony adoption in those kind of cases uh, is issue prone, or it's not successful. If you forget about integration with CRM and other business systems, or if the training and optimizations of AI models is forgotten, or if you do over automation, or if you fail to monitor or measure the return on investment, in all those cases, these systems would fail and will not achieve the objective. So that's why in these cases, when there are so many challenges at this point of time, for you to become an AI apprentice, that is learning by the issues and challenges, in place of doing that, a preferred way for small and medium enterprises would be to procure the system, get the system from a person who is expert in this field, who have seen the problems, who have seen the issues, and who would be able to cater to, or who would be developing the systems as the technologies changes, who would be flexible enough to update their systems, listen to you, understand you, and based on your needs, either partner with you and give you a custom solution, or work with you and deliver something which is or give you a regular product which is quite cost effective. Either of working with these kind of partners is normally very helpful when the technology is changing very fast, it's changing rapidly, and you don't have the time to get into the boat now. So these are the common pitfalls that we have for this and how we can avoid them. Let's We are moving towards the end of the session. I would just quickly summarize it in terms of what is the future of AI in the customer experience. So this is the current state, but as we proceed further, we will see that the conversations will get hyper personalized, and they will be powered by the large language model. As of now, we might be able to do, we might be doing only preliminary conversation, but maybe as the voice bot and systems advance, at that point of time, the complete conversations, negotiations, interactions can be done by the systems. Voice bots can do real-time lead qualifications. They can do appointment scheduling. Let's say you have to get an appointment from a doctor, or you have to get a hotel reservation or anything. Those voice bots can actually do the real qualification, do the appointment scheduling, booking, and maybe sometimes can take the payments also. The enhanced sales propensity scoring can be done, so that only the high propensity sales are actually encouraged by the system, and there's a proactive engagement from the system, from the voice system that we have. Or we can have an intelligent objection handling, as we said, that maybe we have the objections from customers, but based on the good scientific way of handling the various kinds of objections, the AI system automatically handles those. Or it can have a real-time multilingual translation and expanding the global reach kind of a system. Or AI-driven sentiment analysis can be done, which can identify the sentiment of the customers and deliver empathetic and context-aware responsiveness. So at this point of time, I would say that future of AI is not something that it will be replacing the humans. It will be humans powered by super intelligent bots. That is the way I think this cloud telephony system, or the AI conversations, the AI conversation systems will grow. So tomorrow's winners are building today's are building the customer experiences that will be effortless, and that is being done today by the people. So I think I'll just summarize and talk about the key takeaways from this session. So this is not just about answering the calls. The AI telephony or AI conversation system is about transforming the conversations into a competitive advantage. The AI plus cloud telephony marriage that is happening that allows us to take faster, smarter, and personalized customer experiences are given to the users. Then these kind of systems have proven success with measurable improvements in areas of sales, support, operational efficiency. And as you proceed further on these kind of systems, having a clear adoption roadmap, enabling smooth integration with existing systems is imperative or is important for you to succeed in this, in this journey. And what is the best time to adopt? The best time to adopt this transformation was yesterday, but the next best time now is today. So I would say make AI and your plus cloud as your boardroom's next non-negotiable priority. The times are changing, things are getting, the conversation, AI cloud telephony is getting more and more important, and you have to join this sooner or later. Thank you so much. With this, maybe I think I conclude the discussions that we had related to AI conversations. Maybe we will go ahead and in the available time, we can have some kind of questions and answers. Maybe I just want to check. Are there any questions that we have at this point of time from the
Uh,
participants?
Hi. So I'll just jump back in. So yes, we have actually got a couple of very interesting questions. So the first question, which is a very good one that we got from Alfred D'Souza. So Mr. D'Souza would like to know that currently are we using a traditional speech to text LLM, then text to speech model, or are we using real-time APIs? Now, these real-time API doesn't supports RAG and fine-tuning. In this case, how do we train the model to be domain and organization specific?
So what happens is the real-time APIs that we have, they are getting at this point of time low latency ones, and we use various external tools. And they use RAG kind of things, and then we have these MCP servers and systems that ingest the current knowledge base of of the system, and based on that it's vectorized, and the vectorized system is available against which during the call the customer's conversation can be interpreted and the responses can be generated. So at this point of time, these systems do have a good amount of a very good response. And the thing is that it is improving day by day as we are proceeding further. Day by day, as we see, the quality of responses, the quality of calls is getting better. Earlier, when we started, that time we saw that the calls, the interruption handling, the type of responses were going a little astray. But as we are proceeding further with the knowledge base ingestion technologies and the improvement in various AI methods, the quality of the calls and the responses has been getting better and better. And the thing is that if if you depend on a vendor, then you don't need to catch up with all the technologies that have been coming up day by day and the new players that are emerging in the market, because your technology vendor would actually be on the site, on the vigil for the latest possible technologies. And if something is doing better than others, then your vendor will automatically adopt it and use it for you. So that would be an advantage where your technology vendor takes care of all the technology behind it, but gives you the real benefit of the AI conversation, that is low latency, human like personal conversation with your users.
All right. So, Mr. D'Souza, I guess that answers the question you had in mind. Now, there is another question that we got from our attendees. The question is now to implement this kind of a system, how much time does it take, and what is the team size required to handle this kind of implementation?
So, yeah, this is a very interesting and important question, because as people start on this journey, this is the biggest monster that is chasing them as to how much is the effort, what all I can do. And as we discussed during this uh, and during the call, that 95% of the projects are failing at this point of time when we try to implement conversational AI using uh, conversational AI at this point of time. So it depends on the maturity of the organization and the level at which it is. In case you have a good cloud infra, and if you already have the AI specialist and the programmers, then you can pilot your first things in maybe in 5 months, 6 months at the most. But if you want to take it from a vendor, if you want to go for some vendor, then normally with those vendors you would be live in few days, because they would give you all the infrastructure, they will give you all the ready-made products, and then once you start using that, you can just scale it as you go. So it can be very fast, or it can take 5 to 6 months, depending on the approach you take. I'm assuming that they're talking about the approach, why we approach when you go to a vendor and try to do implementation by that vendor. If you try to do that, then actually in the system you can be live in a few days once you make the decision.
Perfect. So there is another question that we received. I hope we have answered it over the while you were going through the presentation, sir. But still, I would like to touch base to that once as we are taking the question. So people would like to know of how many languages can a bot be configured with, or what we can say that how many dialects can a bot understand.
So this actually, like as I speak, the numbers keep on changing, and especially in a language in a country like India, where we have so many languages, 22 plus languages, 1,000 dialects, it would be impossible to cover almost everything. But as we are proceeding further, all the important languages of are being covered day by day, and our government and we have the Servam API, which actually gives an edge, and it gives more of a native conversation supporting us. So as the new languages are adopted and supported, that means that are made available to people. Maybe if the question is about any specific language, maybe we can speak to Mr. James Balraj offline and then give them the information, because listing out everything would not be interesting to everyone at this point of time.
Okay, makes sense. Now, there is another question that is received very vividly from most of, let's say, even not in these attendees in general. Now, there are use cases where we see where the data is very uh, sensitive, where it's a customer sensitive data. For it could be a bank detail, it could be a card detail, it could be OTPs. So how do we make sure that AI or there is no fall through in the customer sensitive data?
I think this is a very good and very pertinent and important questions, which is which is top of the mind for most of the users. If not in India, abroad, I think this is one of the most important things, especially given the GDPR and the regulations that we have. And these regulations are strengthening the support, and because of that, the support for these regulations is also improving in our ecosystems at this point of time. So we have the appropriate systems available at each and every step. Let's say you start with, for you get the data, so you get end-to-end encryption using various technologies, TLS, SRTP for voice, and HTTPS for APIs. Or we get role-based access for identity and access management. So because of that, unauthorized people will not be able to access the system. Then these accesses and the validations and these systems, the robustness of this system, you can also assure, because you would have built the system, but how do you assure your customers? By getting various kind of certifications and compliances given by these agencies. So in India, like March onwards, we have the DPDP compliance. So you can get DPDP certification, and the systems which are you when you adopt, you will know whether that is a DPDP compliant system or not. Or you can have, if you're working a lot in European geography, then you can have a GDPR compliance, or in healthcare, HIPAA compliance. Telecom requires the trial regulations to be maintained. So these compliances will ensure or will help you and certify you that you don't have any liability with the data that you have from your customers, because these compliances and regulations are getting more and more stringent and more critical at this point of time. Even a uh, minimal flouting of any of these DPDP compliances, they're saying that it will have it can have a very big liability of 250 crores plus kind of an amount if you don't use the data judiciously. So I think these uh, systems and the checks and balances are getting in place, and these will help in ensuring that the AI driven systems, the cloud telephony systems, will handle the customer sensitive data. And with these compliances and certifications, you can claim and ensure all your users about the security and privacy of their data.
Great. I guess that sums it up. So there is another question that has come up, is that what if AI understands or misunderstands a customer query? Is there a risk in the brand reputation, or how do we plan to, uh, what do you call it, handle it, or how do we plan to address that?
Yeah. So it's an important thing, because at this point of time, when we work with Gen AI, various tools, we see the systems hallucinate after a limited amount, after a certain amount of usages, and then it starts giving information which is not reliable. And because of that, uh, like there are various disclaimers that are given with this information. But for an organization specific thing, we cannot adopt that. We cannot follow that, because we are using it for commercial purpose. And if an organization uses it for commercial purposes, then the use case would be limited. But within that limited use case, the system is trained on the domain specific data. And once it's trained on the domain specific data, once the knowledge base of that is ingested, when it's vectorized, and when it's available, then based on the questions, it uses the knowledge base and gives the response. When this response is given, the confidence scoring of that response is assessed. And if the confidence scoring is above a threshold, then only the response is given. And if the response is below a threshold, the voice bot can apologize or bring the call back to the track, stating that my conversation is limited to this domain, and for any other domain, I am not the right person to be approached. So that way, there can be some kind of boundaries or checks and boundaries that can be placed across the system using this kind of domain specific knowledge, and using the confidence scoring. The systems will be giving the data which is useful and reliable to the customer, and because of that, only at this point of time the adoption of these systems is skyrocketing, because it's giving the relevant information and solving customers problems.
Agreed. That does make a lot of sense and clears out a lot of questions in that regard. Now, one of the another question that we generally have in mind, or I personally had in mind, is there a possibility that at any stage AI will replace human agents?
See, that has been a traditional question and concern all the time. When we started with computerization, people say that the computers will replace human, but we have seen that we all are still employed. The AI will do lot of work that we are doing, but it will not make humans redundant. It will allow humans to do things that are more valuable, that will allow humans to drive these AI systems in a way that they drive give more and more value to the system or to the entire surrounding or their ecosystems. So it will indeed replace the tasks which are manual, repeated, and not of a high complexity intelligence would be taken up by these systems. But that would enable humans to take up the tasks which they really aspire for, to allow them to take the next level tasks.
Perfect. So there is one more question from Sumit Malhotra. He has a small startup and he would like to understand if the voice bot is something which would be relevant for his organization.
Absolutely. I think we have to, the good chances are that it would be certainly relevant. We might have to look at the real use cases and the places where they would need to deploy it. And only once we have an interaction, we can have further interaction with Mr. Sunil, and we can understand his problem. Most likely we should be able to address it with the conversational AI. The only question is, at this point of time, we really don't know the exact use cases, but chances are that the startup will be interacting with customers. They would need to serve the customers, and when the conversation and serving of customers is required, telephony is the prominent channel, and whenever this telephony is as a channel is used, we will have the use case for AI. So we should have it. I think we should talk to Mr. Sunil individually, and then we can maybe understand and try to address his requirements further.
Perfect. So I guess those were one of those important questions that we had or we received from the attendees. So over to you, Viplab. I guess if you have any other questions in mind from the attendees, we are happy to answer them, or we'll have to pass it on to the Viplab who will take this further and he'll let us know what needs to be done next.
No, we have lots of questions, but anyhow, the time's up now, so it's already 5 o'clock. So whatever the questions is there, we'll try to respond to them, and also they can contact us MQ and contact at mcube.com. Okay, and they can send a mail to marketing at mcube.com or contact at mcube.com. Okay, and we'll try to answer their question. Also they can connect with our speaker Vikas Gupta and you through the LinkedIn, and they can and Vikas Gupta can answer their questions there as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
definitely.
Let
So,
me run a feedback this webinar feedback poll. So
hmm.